Okay, so you can pull out The Meaning of Courage by Nelson Mandela. And again, this is an excerpt from his autobiography, Long Walk to Freedom. And this is a side note, but if you ever get a chance to watch the movie, Long Walk to Freedom, it is absolutely excellent. So number one, according to Mandela, what will South Africans spend generations recovering from? So the profound hurt from decades of oppression is what generations will recover from in South Africa, and the brutality that was faced due to the policy of apartheid, mainly the oppression of people who weren't white, right? Mostly South Africans, Black South Africans, but also people of mixed race, people of Aboriginal descent, basically anyone who was. So keep in mind, the amazing thing about Nelson Mandela is that he spent about 27 years in prison. When he got out of prison, he had no hatred, right? He felt that love was the only way to begin to reunite his country. He was anti-apartheid, and he was the first Black president that had ever ran South Africa. He was also democratically elected by the people, which was huge at the time. Okay, and again, that was, I think, 1994 to 1999. He was the president. So number three, Nelson Mandela defines courage, not the absence of fear, but triumph over it. So not to be, courage, obviously you are going to have some fears, but to overcome it, that's what courage is. During the struggle, Mandela has seen men, women risk their lives for an idea. Okay, you can decide whether you agree with this definition. Make sure you explain why or why not, whatever side you're on. Number four, Mandela believes that every person has two obligations in their life. Number one, an obligation to his family, parents, wife, and children. And number two, obligations to his people, community, and country. So I want you to think about that. If everyone in this world fulfilled those two obligations, what our world might or could look like, I think it would be pretty incredible. So after reading number one, why do you think suffering sometimes makes people brave? Often people don't know what they are capable of until they realize that suffering focuses people's attention on what is really important. And it's too bad that suffering, it takes suffering for people to realize what's important. But, if someone does suffer and they're able to do good and help someone else because of it, I think that makes people totally brave. And I keep coming back to Landon Waite, but I mean, he is someone who has sorely suffered with the loss of his sister, and he's doing good things. He's talking in schools. He's got this initiative. He's selling apparel that's promoting, ending the stigma and mental health, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah. Number two, do you agree with Mandela's statement about love and hate? So the statement was people must learn to hate. They can be taught to love, for love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. That was on page 129. Okay, so you can decide whether you agree or disagree. And again, make sure you state why.